Welcome to the KIMIYA Healing Podcast. My name is Safa, and on this podcast I share with you healing guidance and practices that help you to deepen your sense of body connection, release trauma and imprints held in your body and in your womb, and help you to master your inner energetics. And the practice we're going to be doing today is a breathwork practice. And I'll start by saying sometimes we feel like breathwork practices are very cliche or very surface level. And this is potentially what blocks us from accessing the true power and potency of our breath and the effect that the breath has on not just our physiological condition, but also on our energy field. So the energy field is very, very responsive to the way we breathe. And believe it or not, we often don't know how to breathe in a way that suits our day-to-day lives or that supports our day-to-day lives and really enables us to access a deeper state of rest. And I come across a lot of people in practice who come to see me who need to heal but haven't really developed a awareness of the importance of breathing. So it's not just about oxygenating your blood. It's not just about accessing a parasympathetic state where your body is able to slow down, your nervous system is able to slow down, and your vagal tone increases, and you start to really enable yourself to access a deeper level of nervous system regulation and grounding. But also the breath is a very powerful tool for working with your consciousness and for working directly with your own moment-to-moment present awareness through your energy body. So this is a practice that I have developed, and I want you to explore it within yourself and see if it works for you. And by seeing how it works for you is about observing your own inner conditions. It's about taking tips from this and taking the overall framework and using your own body awareness to decipher how this is affecting you personally. There's no point just taking a practice, following an instruction, and hoping you're going to get the same outcome as the person who's guiding the practice. This is about you developing the level of awareness of your own breath and body and energy system that allows you to then build any practice, any breath practice into your own personal ritual. So this is how I like to teach. I don't like to share prescriptions for if you do this, then that. This is not about formulas. This is about awareness and activating levels of awareness within your own system that will allow you to create what you really want and your unique find your unique practices that really work for you. So if we were to see the effect of the breath on the physiology of the body, on our nervous system, on our fluidic body, on our energy system, we would be incredibly astounded. And most of the time we go to access the breath, it's because, we're feeling stressed or we're feeling really ungrounded and we're okay, we heard that breath work is useful. Let's try some breath work and see if it works right now. And that can be really helpful. But the place where I'm coming from with this is more for you to slowly become curious enough about your own breath. Now that I've given you a little inclination and a little tip that there is something here that's very precious for you to explore, become curious enough about your own breath to notice your own breath in moment to moment, and to be able to do practices and to try this practice, not to get anywhere, as I said, but just in order to see how it affects you. And if you were to see it, you would immediately be astounded and believe it, and you would be blown away by the effect of the breath on the energy field because it's so immediate. And I've been in very deep states of meditation and in deep work with my own energy healing systems, and also in plant medicine work, in states of expanded consciousness, and have directly experienced the real power of the breath. And really, we only have the breath. In fact, the breath is what creates us. We create ourselves through our own breath. So when we're not breathing in a way that's optimum for us, when we have forgotten ourselves, when we've forgotten the power of this free tool, or we haven't really been guided to access the power of this free tool, and this very powerful tool, what happens is we can forget ourselves. We can become quite disconnected from where we really want to be, which is in a state of creation, in a state of active and conscious creation. And being in these expanded states where you experience self-dissolution and you're not identified with your immediate body necessarily, but you have awareness of your body, and you're not identified with your immediate ego state, but you have awareness of that as a part of the whole. When you access a very deep level of consciousness and an expansion, what happens is you are left with only the breath to ride. And it sounds crazy, but you may have also experienced this yourself, especially if you've had like ego death experiences, or any type of self-dissolution experience that you've been able to sustain and that has lasted long enough for you to be able to observe yourself. What you'll notice is the breath is all you have. So it becomes a very receptive tool depending on what is influencing the breath and what is imprinted in each breath, because each breath is creating you. And it's not easy to breathe without a thought. It's not easy to breathe without some kind of mental activity. Very rarely do we access states where we just breathe consciously from a place that is empty. When we breathe consciously from a place that is empty, what we start to experience is our true nature and the liberation of that emptiness. And then when we do start to breathe, we access what is the creative potential of the breath, which means that we can start to create intentionally with each breath. And if you think about your life and maybe areas where you feel like you've been getting stuck, and how long you feel like you've been stuck in maybe that thought pattern or that situation or an emotion, sometimes it can be a really long time. Sometimes it can be, months, if not years, where you feel like you're coming up against the same thing. Now, that's one spectrum of the human experience. But if you take yourself into this practice purely to experience the power of the breath, what you will notice is in each breath, you're given a chance to recreate yourself. And by that, I mean you're given a chance to recreate your own conditions through your own breath. This is why often it's called breath of life, because it is your life flowing through you, and you flow life through you through your breath. And it sounds obvious because at a physical level, if you weren't breathing, you wouldn't have very long to live. It would be a matter of seconds. But this is about really allowing yourself to become the creator of your own self, of your own conditions. So we're going to start this practice, and bear in mind it's an experiment. Everything should be approached with experimental curiosity. Not this is something I have to immediately be able to do, and if I don't do it the first or second time, then it doesn't work for me, or then I can't do it. Like, let's leave all of that behind and let's enter what I call the alchemy lab, which is a space of experimentation with self. And the way that we come to know ourselves, particularly our energetics, particularly in these more subtle realms, is really by experimenting. I have not learned and shared what I know through any other means other than self-experimentation. Being my own inner scientist is what has allowed me to develop practices and to develop tools and systems that actually work for people, because I developed them uniquely through my own sense of self-awareness and my capacity to feel what is happening in that moment at any one time. And I want you to do that. I want you to notice what's happening within you at any one moment in time while you do this practice, and leave any expectations or judgments about yourself, leave them outside of the room that you're in. So take yourself into a seated position. Take yourself into a cross-legged, if you can, seated position. If you need to lie down, that's fine too. Just allow yourself first to be comfortable. And notice your body becoming comfortable. Notice how your hips adjust. Notice the weight of your pelvis. Bring your attention down, first of all. Bring your felt sense down into the pelvis, into the root space, feeling your legs, and just breathing normally. Don't place too much attention for now on your breath. Just notice what it feels like to breathe normally. And reserve any judgment. Reserve any questioning. Am I breathing? Am I really breathing normally though? Is this normal though? Leave all of that behind. Your body will breathe and you will observe. In every breath, your body will tell you your state of being. Notice if your breathing is heavy, laboured, maybe you're sighing a lot, maybe you're yawning. Just notice. It's a mirror. Your breath is a mirror. Breathe if you can through your nose, in and out through your nose. And actually a very powerful way to start is to just imagine, first of all, the inhale directly inhales into your heart space. So you inhale and there's like a direct line from the space around you and in front of you directly into your heart. And you just feel that, and you're establishing that sense of centeredness, that heart-centeredness. This is going to enable you to feel deeper into your energetic system. And set your intention for this practice to be one of curious experimentation. So with every inhale you take, just notice how fully you take the inhale. How much breath do you leave on the table? How much do you really allow your body to fill up? Notice what happens when you're not striving, how much you can inhale. So when you're not trying, how much does your body naturally take in? The inhale is like receiving life, receiving something new. And the exhale is how we slowly let go. Just notice, first of all, how much of your exhale are you following through on? Is your exhale smooth? Are you struggling to exhale? Do you find that you're actually holding your breath? These are all of the things that you're observing without judgment. When you've done this, you want to start feeling into your physical body. Every inhale enlivens your physical body. Every exhale slowly grounds your physical body and surrenders. So you inhale and you enliven every cell. You give energy to every single cell, every single process in your body. And as you exhale fully and slowly, through your nose, you just see how much of your exhale is allowed out. Are you exhaling fully? Notice what's happening in your physical body. As you become regular in the inhale and the exhale, as in your inhale and your exhale start to synchronize so that they're the same length, they have a rhythm, and you're okay with that rhythm, and it feels natural. Start to notice your pelvis, what's happening in your hips. Because every time you exhale, what you're going to notice is that your hips gently and softly start to open and your pelvic floor starts to soften. And it's almost like everything below is just opening and dropping with every exhale. And this is a real physiological impact that can really help to ground your nervous system. And you might also feel this in your womb. So just notice the exhale opening up the hips, pelvis, pelvic floor, and you're softening into the opening. What does it mean to soften into the opening? It means as you exhale, you can feel there's an opening happening and a widening. Just feel into the widening. You'll feel that your hips feel like they're opening, widening. Your energy system's starting to open. The root space is starting to also ground deeper. What you want to then do is trust it. Trust the sensation enough to let yourself relax here. Become still here. When you trust the opening and you can sit in the opening, you will find all that happens with every exhale is that you just keep grounding deeper and deeper and relaxing deeper and deeper and becoming more and more peaceful. And it will also support if you've got tension in your hips or in your lower back. This will also really be supportive. So just notice where you're holding your tension physically and where you're not letting yourself relax. And where you might be holding, where there might be contraction, it might be in your pelvic floor, maybe in one of your psoas muscles, the inner thighs, maybe you're noticing contraction or sensation somewhere else, maybe your lumbar fascia. Just rather than trying to explore it too deeply for now, you just want to take it as an invitation to soften and relax. It's only guidance. Every contraction is inviting you to relax. It's not necessarily inviting you to go deep diving into why there's a contraction. Not through this practice. Just, again, using the breath. Using the breath to slow everything down and rest inside the opening of your body, of your heart. You'll notice everything starts slowing down. You start grounding. Now, when you're still, your foundations are still. Like, I'm so still I can barely talk right now. I'm trying my best to keep talking. When you're so still and relaxed and soft, you're then going to bring your awareness to your heart center, and you're going to start breathing in the same way, with a rhythm, deeply inhaling, filling up and exhaling slowly. And you're going to feel the way your heart moves as you breathe. You're going to feel the way your chest moves. So it's just feeling into the sensations of your upper body. And as you do, just becoming curious about what it's mirroring back to you. Sometimes I do this practice and I realize that actually I think I'm relaxed, but my body is breathing in a way like it's a labored old man. And I say, wow, I haven't given myself enough space and time to relax. So let me try now. Just notice, how does your chest feel? So you're becoming the observer of yourself, which means you're slightly detached but still aware of your own physical sensations. you're allowing yourself to receive what they are trying to tell you. Now, with awareness on your heart center, you should feel a little bit more present here. Now, this is where it gets really, really beautiful. As you inhale, you're going to fill up your heart with newness. That's the word I like to use when I do this practice. Newness, mystery, something that's unfamiliar to you, a newness, a space. You're filling up with this quality, this energy. And as you exhale, again, with awareness of like a stream coming through your heart space, outwards into the world, you're just slowly feeling the heart field horizontally running all the way from the east to the west. You're just feeling that widening. That's your heart field. First, you'll feel it widening in your chest, left and right. You might even feel your chest opening, widening. Then you'll start to feel it in your more subtle senses of your energy field, this widening, this heart field widening. You might even feel like your heart field is wider than your physical body. This is always very beautiful when my clients have reached this space where they're able to feel into the vastness of their heart field, and they say, wow, it's even bigger than the room. My heart is even bigger than the room. I have so much space. I say, yes, you do. So just allowing. By now you probably notice you're more in tune with the subtle body, the energy body, and your heart field is much wider than your physical body. You're widening with every exhale. You're widening with every exhale. You're opening with every exhale because you're surrendering. As you surrender and relax into the surrender, and you don't create anything new, you become more open. You become more open to the world and for yourself. Once you've really, really opened, and you're like, wow, okay, I'm feeling really still and really soft and wide open. Now what? Now what do I do? This is something that I used to ask myself. Well, I'm wide open here, so what next? Do I just hang out here? What do I do? Do I need to do anything? Now is a good point to ask yourself, what do you want to do? What do you want to feel? What do you want to create? What's coming forth through you? What do you need to allow through you? And just as you ask those questions, notice how your heart moves. Notice how your body responds. Is it taking you back into yourself? Are you getting more expansive? Are you getting up in your head? Are you not sure? Are you getting distracted? Whatever is happening for you is okay. So this is a place where I like to invite a new stream of consciousness into my awareness, something new to create me, a mystery. If I am constantly being recreated from a mysterious place, from empty space, then I am less attached to my own conditions and more open. So see if you can open. See if your heart field can touch what you're really, really seeking. What is it that you're really seeking? Feel the movement of your heart field and allow that frequency of what you're desiring to be felt, and remember to breathe and rest into it. This is also a really powerful way to manifest what you're seeking, because you're feeling it. And once you've felt it enough times, you've accepted that feeling, it's a part of you. And then you don't need to manifest it because you already feel it. It feels like it's part of your human experience. So whatever it is that you need in your life right now, and you want more of or less of, feel it right now and breathe. And as you feel it, become still with it. This will be the hardest thing to do, to become still with that frequency. And it requires some practice. And when you're still with it, and you've accepted it for yourself, within yourself, as yourself, I am that I am. When you have accepted that and you're still, it's done. Your heart field will widen again. You'll breathe and you'll feel the shift within you. Something has shifted within you. Don't ask too many questions. Just accept the way you feel. Accept the way you feel. Accept the vibrancy that's alive within you. Without using your mind to try to understand anything, whether you've done it right, whether it's really happening, just accepting the way you feel. And you can stay here for as long as you like. Hello, Rambo. I like to stay here in the stillness and just feel into all of the empty space within me and around me, behind me, above me, below me. And when I do that, I feel a natural sense of gratitude. And again, I breathe and I find gratitude in both the inhale and the exhale and the pause in between. And when you can do that, you'll start to find that your cycles of accepting and of letting go, of receiving and letting go, of death, rebirth, of destruction and creation, your cycles become much more harmonized and supportive, rather than feeling like huge big bangs, big crashes and big stories. And as you do this towards the end of this practice, just see if you can slow your breathing right down and just allow your whole body to be very soft, like melting. Melting, melting. The whole body is melting, feeling in to your whole body. You're sitting, you're grounded, you're connected to the stillness, to the earth. You're rooted, but you're open. And you're allowing every exhale to empty you of anything that no longer serves you. And every inhale, you're breathing in with gratitude for who you are. Breathing in with self-recognition, gratitude for what is a very powerful way to create your own conditions. It almost flushes you out because you're grateful, you're feeling into gratitude for empty space, so it almost flushes you out. It's a very strange feeling of becoming, in that moment, very empty. And you can stay here as long as you like. And you can just keep widening your heart field. Your field becomes wider, east to west, your heart field widens, you open even more, and then you see what lies within you at that level. There really isn't a limit to how much you can open and how much you can soften and still yourself. You can just keep going in this endless practice. I hope that this has given you some inspiration for what you can try yourself. And remember that every inhale and exhale is just a mirror, and it will mirror your internal conditions to you much better than perhaps your own mind and thought, especially when you're willing to pay attention with compassion and without judging yourself. So for more practices, please feel free to listen to the KIMIYA Healing podcast and follow the podcast. If you find these practices and talks useful, please leave me a review. That helps other people to also find what they might be looking for on their healing journey. So I will see you on the next one.